Do not drink water from the ground. When we camp, we will choose a latrine away from the water source.
What is a latrine?
Powder room.
Somewhere in the dictionary's definition of cowboy, you could see a picture of Sam Elliott, complete with his rich baritone voice, thick characteristic mustache, and sparkling eyes. The Western genre will never be the same because of Sam. Sam Elliott is just like everyone else. He had a string of bad luck in his life, particularly as he got close to 80 years old, despite his successful profession. His life remained fraught with immense difficulty. To fully understand Sam Elliott's situation, watch the video all the way to the conclusion. His marriage is where we must begin. Actress Katharine Ross's sixth spouse, Sam Elliott, became her husband when they sealed the knot in 1984. Their marriage, which has endured for decades, is a testament to how much they love and care for one another. A memorable chapter in Hollywood's past has been their romance. Sam Elliott and Katharine Ross have a daughter called Cleo together. Cleo has continued the artistic legacy in her family by pursuing a career in music and becoming well known in the Malibu, California music scene. The happy couple bought a lovely Malibu, California oceanfront property in the 1970s and has decided to call it home. They live here and also use it as a hideaway to relax and take in the breathtaking views of the California coast. Sam Elliott is the property manager for 2 properties in Oregon's picturesque Willamette Valley, one of which being their Malibu ranch. Away from their house on the coast in California, he may take in the tranquility and breathtaking scenery of the Pacific Northwest at their second site. In a touching nod to his heritage, after his mother passed away in 2012, Sam Elliott bought out her childhood house in Northeast Portland. This action illustrates his deep connection to his childhood and family, as he holds a fragment of his past dear. The everlasting love, unwavering devotion to family, and housing choices of Sam Elliott and Katharine Ross reveal their reverence for the natural world, serenity, and the significance of maintaining meaningful relationships all through their lives. Samuel Pack Elliott came into this world on August 9, 1944, in Sacramento, California, at Sutter Memorial Hospital. He was born into a fascinating household. Glenn M. Nay Sparks, his mother, won the title of Texas State Diving Champion while she was a high school student. She became a high school teacher after initially working as a fitness instructor. Henry Nelson Elliott Sr., on the other side, was an official with the Interior Department who oversaw predator control efforts. With El Paso, Texas as his ancestral home, Samuel Elliott has strong ties to his Texan heritage. Actually, he has a direct line of descent from a surgeon who was present during the pivotal Battle of San Jacinto. Elliott's formative years were defined by a major relocation. He and his family moved from California to Portland, Oregon when he was 13 years old. He owes a great deal of his upbringing and his subsequent acting success to this transformation. Samuel Elliott resided in the northeastern part of Portland, Oregon, while he was a teenager. By 1962, he had finished his senior year of high school at David Douglas. Elliott enrolled in the University of Oregon to study English and psychology after finishing high school. But he only lasted 2 terms in school before deciding to abandon his academic career. After Elliott got back to Portland, he went on with his studies at Clark College in neighboring Vancouver, Washington. He finished the 2-year curriculum here. He played the lead part of Big Jewel in a college production of Guys and Dolls while he was a student at Clark Community College. The Vancouver Columbian newspaper suggested that Elliott think about pursuing a career in acting at that point. Therefore, this event greatly influenced his subsequent career. He was inspired to pursue that course of action after hearing this recommendation. In 1965, he earned his degree from Clark College and then enrolled again at Oregon State. As part of his academic experience, he committed to the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity, but he had to drop out again due to another catastrophe. His father had died of a heart attack. Samuel Elliott made a life-altering choice in the 60s. In pursuit of an acting career, he moved to Los Angeles. Because his father had warned him against it in the beginning, this choice was not without its difficulties. His dad, on the other hand, thought that getting a bachelor's degree would be a better bet in the long run, so he pushed him to do just that. As Elliott reflected on his father's words of wisdom, he recalled their conversation. His father had told him, "You've got a snowball's chance in hell of having a career in Hollywood." Elliott's father had imparted a strong work ethic and was clearly a realist. Samuel would always look up to his work ethic, which he inherited from his father, who was a tireless worker. The impact of his father was something for which Elliott was eternally thankful. "I thank him for that every day." Elliott worked as a construction worker in Los Angeles to supplement his income as he pursued acting. He was so focused on succeeding in the cutthroat Hollywood industry that he was prepared to do whatever it needed. He also had a stint in the 146th Airlift Wing, or the Hollywood Guard, of the California Air National Guard, which was based out of Van Nuys Airport. Channel Islands Air National Guard Station was the new home for the unit, nevertheless. When Samuel Elliott first started acting, it was as a character. It didn't take long for the Western genre to find the perfect fit for his voice, look, and personality. This was the first step in the launch of a legendary Hollywood career. When he got his first television credit in 1969, it was a major accomplishment. In an episode of Judd for the Defense called The Crystal Maze, in which he played the role of Dan Kenyon, Samuel Elliott's career in television and film began. This role set the stage for the parts that would later make him a household name in the Western genre. Samuel Elliott started to gain fame in the late 60s and early 70s thanks to a string of memorable appearances on screen and on television. Along with his debut on Judd for the Defense, Elliott took another major stride in his career that year with an appearance in the TV series Lancer. He portrayed the role of Reno in the episode titled Death Bait. Between 1970 and 1971, he made 2 additional appearances on Lancer, further establishing his growing television reputation. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969, was one of his early film appearances that would go down in cinematic history as a memorable event. He was a card player in the film who, in the opening scene, saw Robert Redford's portrayal of the Sundance Kid show off his incredible shooting skills. His destiny in Hollywood was hinted at by this notable part. The 1970 1971 20 Seconds television season saw Elliott's ongoing success on the small screen as he played the role of Doug Robert in many episodes of the smash hit Mission Impossible, solidifying his reputation as an actor of considerable talent and versatility. For a number of Falstaff beer ads starting in 1972, Samuel Elliott portrayed the role of Cowboy Walker. This part helped solidify his reputation as a legendary Western star, which would come to define his career. This film dramatized Chief Joseph's resistance to the U.S. government's forceful transfer of his Nez Perce Indian tribe to an Idaho reservation, and he played the main part of Charles Wood in the 1975 television film I Will Fight No More Forever. Sam Elliott was quite busy in 1976 and 1977, appearing in a number of films and TV shows. Among his notable performances was the role of Sam Damon in the miniseries Once an Eagle, which he co-starred with Amy Irving, Kim Hunter, Klaus Maria Brandauer, and Melanie Griffith, and was adapted from the novel of the same name by Anton Myrer. Elliott had a major career turning point with the part he played as the show's protagonist, Sam Damon. At about the same time, Sam Elliott achieved a major break in 1976 with his leading part as Rick Carlson in the summer blockbuster Lifeguard. In Lifeguard, Sam Elliott portrayed a lifeguard in Southern California who, after a while, begins to question his decisions. He begins to question his life's trajectory and decisions after receiving a reunion invitation. The box office triumph of Lifeguard was met with mixed reviews from reviewers. One of the most prestigious trade magazines in the entertainment business, Variety, panned the picture. They also pointed out that Sam Elliott, with his rugged good looks and charm, had a certain beefcake value, but he came across as more of a helpless spectator than an actor in command of his own fate. Parts like Once an Eagle and Lifeguard were a turning point in Sam Elliott's career. He became one of Hollywood's most adored and famous performers after rising to prominence as an accomplished performer and a character recognized for his unique cinematic persona. He had a career-defining part as Tom Keating in the 1977 miniseries Aspen. From tragic to action-packed, his acting chops were all over the place. Elliott co-starred with Farrah Fawcett and Katharine Ross in the 1981 miniseries Murder in Texas, in which he played a violent husband and wife murderer. In 1985, he had a memorable collaboration with Tom Selleck in the famous miniseries version of Louis L'Amour's The Sacket, 1979, and again in The Shadow Riders, 1982. He had previously played opposite Cheryl Ladd in A Death in California. Mask, 1985, included Cher and Elliott in minor roles. Playing a gruff yet lovable father figure in the 1989 holiday picture Prancer was one of his more touching parts. His television credits include cameos in series like Gunsmoke, Felony Squad, Lancer, and Hawaii Five-0. He is also featured in TV movies like Buffalo Girls, 1995, in which he played the character of Wild Bill Hickok. Elliott made her television movie debut in 1986's Gone to Texas, which was adapted on Sam Houston's life story. In this part, he got to show how Houston went from being a fierce boxer to a cunning political leader. His tenure as governor of Tennessee, his reunion with friends from the Cherokee Nation, and his crucial involvement in Texas's 1836 independence from Mexico were all portrayed in the film. Elliott had another iconic part in 1989's Roadhouse, co-starring Patrick Swayze, playing the role of Wade Garrett, a buddy, mentor, and bouncer to Swayze's character. Elliott and his wife Katharine Ross were in a 1991 film adaptation of the Louis L'Amour novel Conager. In 1993, he played Brigadier General John Buford in the historical drama Gettysburg. In the same year, he also played Virgil Earp in the Western film Tombstone. In 1998, he played the character known as the Stranger, who narrated the story in The Big Lebowski. The 2002 film We Were Soldiers was based on the book We Were Soldiers Once and Young, and Elliott played the part of Command Sergeant Major Basil L. Plumley. In 2003, he received the character of General Thaddeus Ross in the action flick Hulk. Sam Elliott's acting career flourished throughout the 2000s and beyond, with a variety of parts that highlighted his flexibility. His 2005 film Thank You for Smoking portrayed a cowboy who had gotten lung cancer and had worked for Marlboro Man. His talent to portray nuanced and emotionally raw individuals was on full display in this part. Elliott had another vocal role the following year, in 2006's animated feature Barnyard as Ben the Cow. The film's success was in part due to his voice acting, which gave the role more nuance. In 2007, Elliott joined the likes of Nicolas Cage and other A-listers in the supernatural action flick Ghost Rider, in which he played the part of Carter Slade, based on the comic book. The Golden Compass, a fantasy picture adapted from Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials novel, was another of his projects that year. Elliott co-starred with Nicole Kidman, Christopher Lee, and Daniel Craig as the role Lee Scoresby in the film. In 2009, Elliott played the role of American Airlines chief pilot in the film Up in the Air, which was comparatively tiny yet memorable. His ability to convincingly portray characters despite their brief on-screen appearances was on full display in this film. More than that, he was a guest star on Parks and Recreation as Ron Dunn, Eagleton's version of Ron Swanson. He got to play a hippie named Dunn against Swanson, a libertarian and ardent survivalist, and examine the gulf in values between the two. When the animated feature Marmaduke came out in 2010, Elliott was once again cast as Buster or Chupadogra to lend his voice to the character. The role in this film, which is suitable for families, benefited from his unique voice and delivery. His acting resume kept growing with jobs in a wide range of genres. Elliott appeared in the film The Company You Keep as a supporting character in a thriller. In the 2014 drama flick Draft Day, he portrayed a collegiate football coach. Elliott has many assignments in 2015 that highlighted his abilities. In the film Grandma, he co-starred with Lily Tomlin as a character who had a past romantic interest in Tomlin's pregnant granddaughter and attempts to assist her. His command of serious and humorous roles was on full show in this part. In 2015, he was honored with the Critics' Choice Television Award for Best Guest Performer in a drama for his role in the FX network show Justified, further solidifying his reputation as a highly regarded and versatile actor. He has also appeared in the romance film I'll See You in My Dreams, and had a little part in the independent film Digging for Fire. An exciting turning point in Sam Elliott's career occurred in 2015 when he became a series regular on the Netflix series The Ranch. Co-starring with Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson, the project gave Elliott a chance to demonstrate his acting chops in a long-form series. He also appeared in an episode of Grace and Frankie, another Netflix comedy, as Phil Milstein in the second season around the same time. He became a household name in the streaming television industry because to his parts in hit Netflix series, which introduced his acting chops to a new audience. Animation fans may recognize Elliott from his 2015 feature The Good Dinosaur, in which he voiced the character Butch. He gave the animated film depth with his rich, booming voice, which was ideal for the part. In 2017, he had a breakout role in the film The Hero. The film depicted him as Lee Hayden, a legendary Western actor whose prime was long since past. The critics were raving about his performance, applauding how he portrayed the role. Award writer Joey McGidson gushed about Elliott's performance, saying, "The Hero is the ideal embodiment of all the things fans adore about him." The question of Sam Elliott's role in providing voiceovers for adverts, in particular those featuring beef, came up in an interview. His 8 years of advertising cattle were motivated less by a love of beef than by a profound admiration for the ranchers and other individuals who worked in the sector, he said. Although these advertising greatly increased demand for beef, he eventually became tired of the endless demands for alternate versions, cuts, and bargains associated with them. Sam Elliott said that he had convinced himself to quit the work because he was becoming too worn down by the circumstances. Despite his admiration for individuals who worked in business, he no longer wanted to cope with the pressures of the corporate world. Sam Elliott brought up the point that comedians are more prone to transgress certain limits when talking about how personal experiences, particularly those involving loved ones, are used by actors in their job. According to him, comedians get their material from real-life situations, which they aren't afraid to share, even if it's skewed or funny. This candor is what makes humor stand out from other forms of entertainment, even though it can be off-putting at times. Sam Elliott revealed his method for juggling meaningful creative endeavors with possibly profitable business prospects. He made it clear that he has always put his acting career above financial gain. Commercial work provides a certain amount of financial stability, but it also gives him the freedom to decline certain acting or theater roles. His decision-making process, he insisted, has always been driven by his genuine love for the subject matter and his lifelong ambition to be an actor. While he does consider other people's thoughts and feelings, his decisions are based on his emotional investment in the project and the strength of the screenplay. Sam Elliott has been able to carve out a unique path for himself in the entertainment world by being true to his creative vision and loving what he does. Later that year, Elliott showcased his acting chops in The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot Show, a remarkable story that featured individuals from many walks of life. Elliott has a substantial role in 2018's A Star is Born, playing the part of Bobby Maine, the older half-brother of Bradley Cooper's protagonist. Critics and audiences alike praised his role in the picture. He was nominated for 4 awards that year, including Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards, Best Supporting Actor at the National Board of Review, Screen Actors Guild, and Best Supporting Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. The nomination was a watershed moment in his career, and he made the lighthearted remark, "It's about time." The 2022 Paramount Plus miniseries 1883, starring Sam Elliott as Shay Brennan, is a prequel to the hit Yellowstone series. The protagonist, Brennan, is a pioneer from Fort Worth, Texas, who guides a band of newcomers into the wilds of the American West. This piece delves into the link between the Dutton family and their journey to Montana. The Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Performer in a Miniseries or Television Movie went to Elliott for his work in 1883, further establishing him as a renowned and lauded performer in both cinema and television. Various voiceover narration positions in advertisements and other media have sought for Sam Elliott's famous voice. He got his start in the voiceover industry by contributing his unique voice to a number of commercials. These parts were tailor-made for his deep, rich voice and signature Western charisma. Dodge, IBM, Union Pacific, Kenny Rogers, and a slew of other well-known firms used Elliott's voice in ads. Remarkably, he took over for the illustrious Robert Mitchum as the American Beef Council's spokesperson. With his voiceover work for Kay's Beer beginning in late 2007, Elliott has helped increase the brand's popularity and brought attention to its Colorado origins. His voiceover work for the 2010 Ram heavy-duty vehicle ad was commissioned by Ram Trucks. He maintained his ties to the company and has continued to provide his voice to their advertisements. Sam Elliott became the popular fire prevention symbol Smokey Bear in 2008. It just so happens that he and Smokey Bear were both born on August 9, 1944. His long history of using his warm, welcoming voice to convey serious topics was able to flourish in this position. Elliott was also a gifted vocalist at sporting events. At Super Bowl XLV, which concluded the 2010 NFL season for NFL on Fox, he narrated the introductions for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Green Bay Packers. The game took place at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. At the beginning of this major athletic event, his voice gave it more seriousness. Playing the part of Wild Wild West, the cousin of the late Mayor Adam West, Sam Elliott had a recurring voice role in the 2020 cartoon comedy Family Guy. The character was named after Elliott's character. He had the chance to demonstrate his voice acting chops in a new media with this part. In addition, he was a voice actor for a major 2020 campaign ad, lending his voice to Joe Biden's Go and being a part of a watershed moment in American politics. One of the most famous and esteemed voices in the business, Sam Elliott's voice has been ubiquitous in media such as ads, TV shows, and even PSAs. Have you any opinions about Sam Elliott's life and work? Feel free to share your thoughts in the space provided. Hopefully you have found this movie to be useful. Please show your appreciation by subscribing, leaving a like, and sharing the video. Please return for more videos. Thank you for viewing.